Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with NXT broadcast live last night on USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Joe Hendry received an assist from Trick Williams to become the #1 contender for Ethan Page's NXT Championship.
I tell you to do. Back in the ring. The action continuing. Bitter end for Pete Dunne. Bitter end. The Trick. The Trick. What the? Trick shot. Hendry's into the cover. Get me. You gotta get. Whoa. Do you believe?
Hendry pinned Pete Dunne in a three-way match, which also included Wes Lee. As a result, he'll face Page for the NXT title on September 1st at NXT No Mercy. Jada Parker will also be headed to No Mercy. Parker won a 6-woman Eliminator Gauntlet match, last eliminating Sol Ruca and earning a match against Women's NXT champion Roxanne Perez. Last night's match also included Kendall Gray, Ren Sinclair, Adriana Rizzo, and Brinley Reese. Reese replaced Carmen Petrovic, who was attacked by Izzy Dame to begin the show. The opening match saw Nathan Frazier and Axiom defeat Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne, earning Frazier and Axiom a rematch against Hudson and Osborne's Chase U teammates and current NXT Tag Team Champions Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. In other results, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger upset Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Ashante the Adonis beat Dion Lennox, and Wendy Chu knocked off Lola Vice. In ratings news, AEW Collision on Saturday night drew an audience of 406,000 to TNT, according to WrestleNomics. That's up 9.7%. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .13, up from last week's rating of .11. In New Japan Pro Wrestling news, on Monday the company announced dates and locations for its next 2 IWGP World title matches. Tetsuya Naito will defend his crown against the Great Okan on September 29th in the main event of New Japan's Destruction in Kobe event. Okan was one of Naito's 4 losses during the G1 Climax tournament, which ended on Sunday. The winner of Naito and Okan will move on to defend against G1 Climax winner Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP title on October 14th in Sumo Hall. Also on Monday, New Japan announced a show on September 7th to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Shingo Takagi, as well as adding Mina Shirakawa to its August 30th event in Washington, D.C. And we close with the Cauliflower Alley Club, which is holding its 58th annual reunion this week at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Night 1 of the CAC banquet took place last night, featuring several major awards and recognitions. Headlining the first night was Sting, who received the Iron Mike Mazurki Award, named for the founder and first president of the CAC.
And I want all of you to have the same thing that Lex has, and that I have, and many others in here have, and you know who you are. And I want to thank you all. Thank you for giving me another chance. I love you all.
Sting was presented with the award by his longtime friend and colleague Lex Luger. John Bradshaw Layfield presented the Tag Team Award to the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon.
Although some people like to say we're the greatest tag team in the history of this business, I can't say that. I thank you for the gift of saying that, but I can't say that because there are so many tag teams that we haven't faced since we've been wrestling. The legendary Road Warriors, the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, the list goes on and on. But what I will say is that we were the greatest tag team of our era.
Other awards included the Courage Award presented to Black Bart and accepted on his behalf by JBL, the Women's Wrestling Award presented to Allison Danger by her brother Steve Corino, the Red Bastien Friendship Award, which went to longtime world-class front office employee Lori Hurst, and the Real Award presented to Hollywood actors, which went to Todd Bridges, best known for the TV series Different Strokes. The second night of the banquet is scheduled for tonight, with awards being presented to Bill Alfonso, Jim Ross, Marcus Bagwell, Kurt Angle, and others. And before we leave you today, We'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.